Hi everyone. Now today I'm in the old chook run. So the chooks have got a new run. It's nice and grassy. There's where a couple of apple trees, and I've also planted a couple of figs in there as well. And the old run, which I'm in now, is probably about half the size of the new run. So it was basically, that was what I was going to be doing, but it was just money, and now that I'm working and there's some cash flow, I splashed out and bought myself some chicken wire. So they've got two alternating runs. But what I want to talk to you today about is firstly permaculture. Now a lot of the stuff that I do in the videos and the gardening and what have you, I'm a big fan of permaculture, and a lot of the permaculture ideals I implement into my gardens, but I guess I haven't really kind of talked a lot about it. So I thought today's a good example. So this is the old run. Now chickens, anyone who has chickens will tell you that chickens will soon turn a nice grassy area into dirt. They scratch, peck the grass, scratch around, fertilise, and that's all fantastic. But they do need to be able to scratch around, eat the grass, etc. So it is good to have alternating yards for them, like any other livestock. Basically like crop rotation with vegetables, but with chickens. So this is the old run. Now because it's all pretty much dirt and it's muddy and what have you, what I'm doing is I've got some hay which I'm sitting on, this stuff. Now I'm spreading this all around as a mulch. So mulch obviously is fantastic for a lot of reasons. Mainly it'll suppress weeds in certain areas if you're not one for weeding. It'll maintain a nice temperature control in that area. It'll reduce the amount of water that you use, and it'll also break down and add back nutrients into that area as well. So I'm using hay, like I said, shouldn't have thrown that bit away. Now, hay normally can be a bit of a nightmare because it is just cut grass. So you get a lot of seed heads and what have you in there, and then the seed heads germinate, so the area that you wanted to actually keep nice and neat for other plants ends up growing a lot of grass. But that's going to work for me in this situation, because I'm spreading it around because I want the seed heads in here to germinate so it can grow a whole new batch of grass in here. So the mulch itself, apart from doing everything that I mentioned, is also going to be reseeding the area too, so the grass will come back up. So when I put the chickens from that area, their new area, back in here and rotate them, it's nice and green. So I've got a few bales like this that I've just been spreading around. And what I'm also going to be doing too, because the chickens have done a wonderful job in here of fertilising and getting rid of weeds, pardon me, I'm actually going to start planting some vegetables in here too and see how they go. Because the area is heavily fertilised, it'll be mulched, perfect conditions. It's basically a vegetable garden ready to go. So one thing I'm going to be putting in are peas. Now I planted these probably about between 3 and 4 weeks ago. They've come up nicely, so I'm just going to put these in here too. So peas have the advantage of not only giving you peas, the chickens will eat all the stalks as well. The stalks will break down into the soil and add more nitrogen to the soil, but the root system has little nodules on them which actually put the nitrogen back in too. So it's perfect conditions for planting things. So I'll probably put some zucchini or courgettes in here, peas, maybe some tomatoes, and probably corn as well. So stuff that's going to grow fruit, and then I can cut it back and literally just leave it on the ground here. And any bits that didn't come out properly, or scrappy bits here and there, the chickens will eat when they come back in. So as far as permaculture goes, there's a lot to it. But it's all relatively straightforward and it makes sense. So a lot of people are kind of daunted by permaculture, the same as people used to be kind of daunted by organic growing and organic principles. But permaculture is basically about planning your garden, not instead of just going in feet first, taking into account the wind, the sun, winter and summer sun, and the height of both, trees for shade and what have you, the lay of the land, which way the water is going to run, and also multitasking as well. So this area for me is going to become, as well as being for chickens and providing me with eggs, is going to become a new vegetable garden. And when that dies off, the chickens will come in and they'll just turn it all over again and refertilise the whole area and basically compost the whole area again with all the cuttings and scraps left over by the vegetable garden, and then I'll do the same in the upper one where they are there. So multitasking for me is a very important aspect of permaculture. Everything that you kind of instigate or do, I feel, should really have more than one aspect to it. So this, for example, you've all seen this before, this chicken run. So I've been a bit slow off the mark with other things, but because it's fencing as such, what I'm going to do is start a garden bed along the side here and start growing some climbers along there. So maybe passion fruit or kiwi fruit, or I don't know, probably passion fruit. I had my heart set on passion fruit. So you're utilising the facility of the cage itself, so not only does it keep the chickens in, but it'll provide a trellis for you to grow something else on. So you're getting a couple of uses out of the one thing, and that's an important part of permaculture as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to, in the next few videos, go over these kind of principles more and more, just to kind of demystify them. I think familiarity brings a certain amount of acceptance. So, you know how like years ago, organic, people were like, oh, it's organic, and whereas now it's, you know, run of the mill. Permaculture, I think, is something that once a lot of people understand a little bit more, soon realise that, you know, it's going with nature and the surround, it's not fighting against anything, and become something that people just want to instigate in their own gardens, whether it's a tiny little patch or a farm like this. Alright, I'm going to plant these, and I'll see you soon.